Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Erin Lee of Heavenly Messenger, and this is my good friend, beautiful friend, Bobbi Rowntree, born medium, and you are joining us today for Oracle Chats today, live on Sunday, August the 14th. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I just got lost in the technology.
I think that's a very easy thing to do. I don't look at the technology or it'll distract my little brain.
Yep. So no, we're good. I was going to put up the banner that says that we are doing general chatting questions today. We won't be doing readings live on the show today, but we will be talking.
We'll be talking a lot, as we tend to do.
We'll be talking. Hello to Carrie. Jerry, thank you so much. Yes, we were, but wonderful things.
Yes.
Jerry, thank you for the welcome back. I appreciate it. And hello to JC and to Kareen. Hello, it's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you for joining us. And to Natasha as well. It's great to see you. Awesome. So a couple of weeks ago, we're going to do a pre-recorded show because there were a couple of dates in August that we weren't going to be able to be live, but we didn't end up doing the pre-recorded shows, but we still had a couple of questions come in. So we thought instead of leaving people hanging with that, we would answer a couple of those questions that came in. I haven't been on the Universal Connections website. It's universalconnections.ca, and I don't know how long. But when I was coming down and getting ready for our show today, I ended up on our Universal Connections website. Like I just bumped my phone and there it was. And it is the questionnaire that we had set up where people could send us our questions. And that just seemed like a wonderful confirmation that was where we were supposed to go today. So
that's how things happen.
Yeah, right. So, Bobbi, I don't know if you want to talk for a moment while I find the questions in my email.
Okay, I can talk.
Okay, you could.
Really. So I hope everyone is feeling good today. We're in mid-August, and
I know.
It's weird. I actually noticed the Lionsgate porthole. Or
the portal, even
the portal. I didn't notice it. And actually, did anyone else notice it? Did you feel different? Did you do anything for yourself? Guess what I did? I had a salt tub. Surprise! Is everyone super surprised? I did yoga and had a salt tub and meditated and did all those sorts of things. Actually, yes, I did. I got a good idea.
You got a good idea?
Through it, yes. Actually, for maintenance and care and things like that with the bods.
Wonderful. I love it. Do you want to share with us?
Well, actually, and it's almost embarrassing because...
That makes me even better.
As a yogi, because I've been a yogi since I was 27 years old, when the lump on my neck began and the new lumps were forming, I actually kind of moved away from my yoga because I was in so much pain. Why was I doing? I know better. Anyone who I've ever taught yoga to is like, what? That's not you. So I've actually been doing it every day. And every day I think, okay, when I'm getting through a pain moment, I think, okay, get on your butt, get on the floor, and actually just do something and I found actually even just sitting.
Amazing.
Cross-legged and just pulling my back up, I can actually feel my back slowly aligning itself. Like this is what you're supposed to do. Well done, stupid. It took me
Oh, I love that message and that reminder. I've always experienced pain in my body, but particularly since my late teens, I was in a couple of really significant car accidents that meant that there was a lot of pain in my body. And I have recently started experiencing a new type of pain. No, you gotta be kidding me. No more. So I really appreciate that message because that just really kind of confirms what I had been feeling for myself. So I'm going to get my butt to the floor to my yoga mat and get going.
Yes, young lady. And in fact, is your yoga mat here?
It might still be there. I do have others at home, but yeah, I think I still have a yoga mat at your house.
I'm sure you do. In fact, I know you do. But that's what people do. They keep their yoga mat at their yoga studio because that's when they do yoga.
Right.
when actually that's the time that you're just getting your little buffer so that your yoga teacher can show you any misalignments that might be happening and bring you that much forward.
So what I'm hearing is that it's kind of like homework. You should be doing yoga outside of your yoga classes and use the time in your yoga class to tweak and make sure that you're doing things properly.
Precisely. Yes. Yeah. Your yoga class is just your tutorial to make sure you're on the right track with what you're doing. And you can do yoga every day in a class. That would be fine and dandy. But what I'm actually learning now, and because when I moved into yoga, it was because I broke my tailbone. All in my head was, how can I be thinner? How can I make my muscles? Because I've got these big stocky muscles.
Yep.
Elongate the muscles and look thinner and blah, 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 blah. I was all obsessed with the aesthetics of it. Now I'm seeing, okay, actually yoga is the movement of energy through my body. When I do the poses, I actually allow the psychic energy to move, and therefore it doesn't get all caught up and cause me aches and pains and soreness.
Absolutely.
So, you think I would have gotten that a while ago? How slow are you, Bobbi? Like, does a truck need to hit you? Yeah, actually, literally, a truck does need to hit me.
Yeah. But I think that this is a really great learning lesson for everybody. It doesn't matter, how evolved or how enlightened. You can still continue to learn. There are still messages that are coming that we need to learn from. We don't stop because we've reached a certain level. We just keep going. And it doesn't make sense to beat ourselves up over what we didn't know before, because now
I just wasn't telling myself. Actually, everything I find out I know, I actually did know.
Right. Yeah. Because the way that I see it is, we can spend time beating ourselves up and going through that guilt cycle and that shame cycle, or we can just say, hey, now that I know better, I'm going to do better. Yes. So instead of wasting that time and that energy and putting yourself through that trauma, just say, hey, I didn't know, or I wasn't doing, or whatever, but now I am. And so I'm going to continue with that.
I put myself through a lot of that trauma yesterday. Very, very much of it. Yes. And this morning. And it's the comparison to others.
Yeah.
When I compare my life to the lives of others who I deem perfect, I always come up wanting. I don't know why.
Bobbi, I'm going to stop you right now. You have to stop comparing yourself to me. I'm truly not perfect.
How did you know I was talking about you?
Because I know. Okay, we've had a couple more people join us. Let's say hello to everybody else. Then we'll hop into the question that we had in the pre-recorded questions, and we'll take questions that have come up. Natasha, it's so great to see you. We're not doing readings today, but please join us for the general questions.
Yeah, and actually, I see that Natasha has made a comment called, I felt a collapse. She might be talking about the Lionsgate portal.
Oh, probably, because we have been talking about that. Ooh, I would love to, Natasha, if you're still on and with us, did you want to talk a little bit more about what you felt?
Yeah, I think that's very interesting.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
Going to go in and say hello.
And hello to Heidi. And I see that Heidi's also commented a little bit further that she has a question. Please, if you have a general question, pop it in the comments. We're going to get to as many people as possible. Let me see. And Jerry left a message, but didn't realize that we weren't taking questions. Okay, yeah. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, and we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And hello to Michelle and to Brenda. And Carrie's got so many ideas. Oh no, so many ideas were coming to Carrie during the Lionsgate
portal.
Amazing. Awesome. Oh, cool. So Carrie's saying that she likes a live yoga video every morning that you can subscribe to. That's kind of neat. Or I have some ideas for Miss Bobbi as well. And Marilyn, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. It's lovely to have everyone here, and I like that we have new people all the time. I think that's wonderful. Yes.
And I love it when everybody talks nicely to each other in the comments too.
Yeah, input, when people help each other, and because we're a community. And
absolutely,
if we weren't doing it here on the internets, we would be doing it in a person sort of thing. Yeah. In person.
Sort of, yeah.
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I have our first question. This came up through for a request for pre-recorded for the video.
Okay.
So my mom died almost exactly 8 weeks ago. This was a couple of weeks ago when the comment came in. And when she passed, I was very aware of her near me, but now it's harder to connect. I recently learned of this concept of the in-between. What is it like? Is it different than the reckoning? What is after the in-between? Is it harder to sense our loved ones when they move beyond the in-between? And this was a question that came in from Julia. So Julia, thank you for the question.
Yeah, it's actually something I hear a lot.
Yeah. So
well, because like the information and the communication is like kaboom as soon as they cross over, because you need it. And actually what people on the other side have shown me is they come back at that time and actually fused in a bunch of communication. And the communication isn't always them. It is them, but it's another loved one helping them to communicate. Right. So it is a little more charged and a little more different. And then when they learn how to communicate, it is just them. So it does feel different. And they learn how to communicate themselves. And the only thing I can think of with the in-between is what I call judgment. And that is when people have to go in and see how they led their lives, how they affected others, and they have to feel it all and go through all of that. But that's a timeline that they have, not a timeline that we have. Mm-hmm. So the communication doesn't really cease. It just becomes so that they're trying to learn how to communicate and how you're going to hear them. And you might be quite fragile. I'm actually hearing that she herself might have gotten to a point where her mother needs to go, okay, I need you got to get to a point where I can actually start to communicate with you again, because you might actually explode if I communicate with you right now. Right. When I do communicate with you, it's like, it's like they passed again. It's that moment all over again with all these memories, and it's a whole, and you might actually be a glued together base at this moment. So
that's really interesting, because when I read it with my limited experience, because of course Bobbi is the medium, and so I always defer to her. But what I connect people. but kind of what I heard was that when they crossed over, that as we've talked about before, that initially they're being kind of boosted. The signal is being boosted by loved ones on the other side so that they can continue to communicate.
I like how you said that. Their signal is being boosted.
Yeah, because that's how I see it and feel it and experience it. It's kind of like a signal that comes through. Because for me, like, I'm not a clear medium in the same way that you are, so it probably comes through differently for me. But it's like a signal and it's a message, and that's how it comes through. And then it's like boosted, supported by the energy of others. But then there comes a time when the others are no longer like boosting their signal, and so they have the time when they need to build up their energy to be able to come down and connect with you. And part of how I see it is, our energy vibrates like here, right? And their energy vibrates way up here. And so we need to come to a point in a place where we're closer, so we're able to connect. So they need to build up their energy enough to be able to come down enough to communicate with us. And we need to build our energy up in order to be able to go up to communicate, to meet with them. Yes. And one of the things that can happen when we're grieving is our energy drops, right? So our ability to connect, to meet them isn't the same.
Yeah. And I think too, when you get to the idea of, okay, I've got to connect so I can actually talk to them. Yeah. It's kind of like trying to force a poop. All you're going to do is give yourself brain hemorrhoids. Right. You're trying to cause something to happen. And you can't do it. You actually have to be as relaxed as possible. That's why they come in your dreams, because your mind is like on a vacation in the closet. Yep. Your soul's like, yeah, everything's real. Let's play. So that's why. Yeah. That's my only caveat there.
One of the things that I love about Oracle chats in general, but Bobbi in particular, is you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get like brain hemorrhoids.
Wonder what those would be like. Your nose.
Absolutely. Honestly,
it's the first time I've ever coined that phrase, just so you're aware.
Yeah. So the next time you have brain hemorrhoids, first of all, see your doctor. But then on top of that,
Stop pushing so hard in your meditation. Just allow it
right.
to happen.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's like the comparison thing.
Yes.
When you start looking at what other people say they experience during meditation, and you're just sitting there going, well, I'm just quiet.
Yeah.
Am I not doing anything?
Absolutely.
First off, the other person might be lying. And also, too, everybody experiences differently. Because you can both watch a movie together and they could laugh at all the stuff you don't think is funny, and then you get all the stuff that they don't get. That's just, So it's very individualized.
It is. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I see that in my Reiki classes and stuff too, when we're going into meditation, or we're going into like channeling Reiki energy and sharing. And we all share our experiences, and inevitably there is somebody in the class who is like right there. They're getting it really easily. They're having these really incredible experiences. And then there are other people who are like right at the very beginning of their journey, and they're comparing themselves to this person who has been practicing things for years. And it's like, you can't do that. Everybody is on their own journey. You can't have this other person's journey, and they can't have your journey. You have your own journey, and love it.
Yeah. And I think actually a little bit of spirituality, people don't seem to realize that it's actually a goal. You actually have to do some work and research and look at yourself. It's a lot of work to start to know you. It doesn't just come like that. And actually it almost even, there's a question here that makes me think that, but then that I'm bopping away from a lot of other questions. Okay. There's so many questions I actually am finding very interesting that I kind of go on with what we're talking about.
Okay.
If you, okay. All right. There's actually been several questions about the veil.
Okay. I haven't been paying attention, so you hop in. Let's talk about it.
I can see that, or I'm just popping out and seeing the veil.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm not even reading what people are, okie dokie. Almost crossing the veil. Almost crossing the veil. Now, okay, just reading that from Jerry, almost crossing the veil. But then I'm also reading Rose is asking about if you can almost see the veil. Wow, that's weird.
Interesting. Okay.
Weird. The two different people ask very similar kinds of questions, but not at all similar. They just use different words.
Let's tackle them. What comes up for you?
Well, what comes up for me is, actually, and I didn't even think this, but it's popping in my head, thinning of the veil. Has there been a thinning of the veil this week?
Well, I can certainly see that with all of the increased energy that we've had. I mean, we've had the lion portal, we've had like the meteor showers, we've had the supermoon. There's been a huge amount of energy.
Supermoon was what a thing. Holy cow. I thought, what's wrong with me? And then someone put the super, I'm like,
right, that's it.
That's up. Yeah, and that's always my thing. That's up. But yeah, and actually, okay. One of our Orchelians here has asked about having a gift they don't want.
Oh, okay.
What do you do when you have a gift you don't want? And that's always been, when you watch us, people represented like us on TV, very often they're like, I have to want it. I got to go away from it. And that, for me, I'm like, well, that's a crock of shit. You have to actually move towards it to get it.
Yeah.
I think when I was born like this, I didn't look for it when I was a child.
Yep.
It was just something that happened to me. Okay. So would it be fair to say, Erin, a gift you feel you do not want, that maybe you should actually move into that gift and make it something that works for you?
Yeah. I mean, for me, what it actually goes back to is, again, Reiki courses and classes. And when I started teaching, in addition to the training that I'd already done and the experience that I had, I did some Googling just to see what types of questions other people asked. And there was this whole forum on how to turn off your Reiki. And I'm like, why would you want to turn off your Reiki abilities? Because basically all it is you have a greater capacity to channel life force energy. Like, it's something that you already do, and you just have a greater capacity to channel it. And I'm like, why would you not want to have that. And I continue to read through the comments, and basically what this person, what their experience was that they would go to a party and suddenly everybody was asking them to give them Reiki because they wanted to receive healing. Oh, I've got this headache, or my arm really hurts, or something else. And this person found that they were spending their entire party and everybody was just coming up to them asking for Reiki. The problem wasn't the Reiki, the problem was the boundary.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes we don't want a gift that we have because it is challenging for us to give to others or to continue to experience it. And so for me, that all comes up to boundaries around what you give, what you choose to give, or what you choose to receive. From the perspective of being somebody who is clairsentient, I have a lot of rules around what I am willing to receive. I am not willing to receive messages for people while I'm out in public, because I want to be able to live my life and not to be inundated by messages that are coming in, because for me, it is not appropriate to walk up to somebody that I don't know and give them a message. Yeah, it is. To me, it is an incredible crossing of boundaries that I will never do.
What TV shows are based on?
I know.
And I know. You couldn't. You couldn't walk up to. I could not walk up to someone and say, "Your grandmother is here with me," and she says this and this and this. Because as soon as I say, "Your grandmother's here with me," boom, a big wall would go up. Yeah, because they'd be like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Crazy. Exactly. So for me, it all goes back to boundaries. But I also like what Bobbi was saying as well. Like, this is something that is a part of you. And instead of saying, I really hate my nose. I hate my nose. It breathes for me and it smells and it does everything that I need it to, but I absolutely hate my nose. Instead of saying, I'm going to go and change my nose because I hate it, I'm going to look at it more deeply and I'm going to find the things that I love about it. And I'm going to focus on that, and I'm going to grow it and I'm going to expand it.
See, I heard I'll learn how to contour.
Or I'll learn how to contour.
Actually, it would be like moving around it.
Yeah, moving around it. So I don't know. I'm not sure that's helpful.
You ended one of your sentences in my head. Mm-hmm. You said, if you don't feel that, it's not that you don't want your psychic abilities, you don't want what your psychic abilities attract towards you. That's actually what I heard in my head. Mm-hmm. So I totally get that, because as a child, when I did not have control of it, it attracted such negative energies at me and screaming and yelling, which I actually had a moment with. I should tell you about that one day. Yeah. I have a little bit of insight as to what that was.
Yep.
And how actually it was me, the child,
not
being able to control the spirits, not being able to control and pull everybody down and say, sit in the seat. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're like,
yeah.
That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they've all like in a movie where you let spirits out and they go all over the place. That's what it's kind of like. Okay. Yeah. So learning more about the gift and how to, I don't want to say control, but kind of control. Yeah. Or guide.
Or pardon me, which?
Guide.
Yes. Yeah.
But
and one of the things that tweaked for me as you were talking was focusing on, the negative experiences that it was bringing to you. Once you learn how that's happening, can you not also use that to bring positive experiences for you? Like, can you not harness that energy and then kind of slingshot it around so that it becomes the thing that's bringing the positive experiences?
To a certain extent, because with me, with those negative experiences, it was actually actual spirits coming in a way that I was seeing that was just too invasive. And actually, most of them probably were negative.
Okay.
But I've had a recent experience with people who were doing that. And it was actually because it was too overwhelming.
Oh, interesting.
I've had a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
And it was like a sudden, everybody was here at the same time.
Yeah.
It was really, 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 it was intense.
Yeah.
So, and I learned something in it through my grandmother, and it was the fun. Anyway, but it was a wonderful thing, but it made me think, oh my gosh.
That was what.
And it actually made me feel better, because it made me think, okay, well, when I was a little girl, maybe it wasn't demonic sort of presences in my head. Maybe it was just that I was a little girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I could do. So it just came out like that. And it's funny actually, because Chantel just wrote, I used to think it was normal and everybody was like that.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what she's referencing, but I totally get it because I have had that. Hello,
Yeah.
Ebony. Ebony's for because I actually thought it was normal to have your dead grandmother sit at the end of your bed and chat with you until you went to sleep.
Right.
And I told my friends, and they went,
I can just imagine.
so yeah, you learn, Chantel, don't you? Because you see, well, now I'm 50, I don't care.
Yeah.
You watch your eyes go big, and I'm like, oh, goody, I want to do more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I see now the comments that Rose had left about the veil that you had been talking about. I didn't see them before. And Rose has also asked if the meteor shower was last night. Yeah, it's been happening since July. But the last couple of nights from the 11th, 12th to the 14th, I think it's really prominent. So the only two things that are really kind of preventing us from really seeing it clearly are if it's cloudy and of course the full moon, because the moon, it's a super moon. So it's really illuminated. But yes, we are definitely right in the peak of the meteor shower right now.
Okay, that makes some sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
windstorm that we had on Friday, was it Friday night? We had that windstorm.
I think so.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I love
it was so much. Yeah.
There's like energies moving all over the place. Okie dokie. And I'm curious as to what Rose's weird experience with the shooting star was. It came at a certain time or something like that, because I find those things that I was actually just talking to a client about a very strange thing that happened in the sky for them. We could not explain any other way but to say, it's so weird when you get to the point where you're like, okay, well, I might have to jump into crazy land, or crazy land, and you realize, my God, it's not crazy land. Oh no. Yeah, what's reality? Sorry, that's me.
Pardon me.
Brenda even asked, would the negative emotion of the gift draw the negative in?
The negative. Oh, I see what the question's being asked.
Okay,
you mean,
I think I can too. Yeah.
Yeah. Then, like, if you feel negatively about your gift, will that continue to pull a negative emotion, like negative experiences? I would say absolutely.
I would too, actually.
Right? Because kind of the expectation that you're setting is that this thing that is a gift that is beautiful is only going to bring you negative experiences. Then you've kind of set it up that that's all that it's going to bring. My nephew is visiting right now. He is almost 12 years old. I love him so much. He's visiting from Pennsylvania, so it's quite a distance. We don't see each other very often. And we've just taught him how to play euchre, because in my family it's a card game that we play all the time. And he started throwing off high cards really early in the game. And my sister said to him, Xander, are you doing this because you feel so badly that we haven't been winning that you're just throwing them off, and basically coming to a point where you can't possibly win because you are throwing away cards that you don't need to? And that's kind of what this is you have the ability to see and perceive it as being something that is amazing. The other thing that I would share with that is the depression that I have experienced since I was 9 years old is when it really first started coming out, which is quite young, but it's all tied into being a sensitive person. And I see actually what I've had to learn to do to balance and manage the depression that I've dealt with for so long is being one of the gifts that really helps and supports me in understanding the other gift that I have. So do I enjoy going through the depressive episodes? Absolutely not. But it's been a gift because it's helped me to cultivate and to learn and to balance and to grow. And so it's, pardon?
You think it's part of your gift?
Oh, absolutely. I think that it's 110% part of it, because if that wasn't present in my life, I don't know that I would have had the motivation and the desire to understand myself well enough to be able to understand the messages that were coming through.
Yeah, it's like my crazy brain.
Yeah. So it's your superpower. So
that's what I do. Yeah.
So yeah, you can choose to see it as being something that's negative, that's holding you back, that's holding you down, that you're never going to get rid of. Or you can say, hey, this is the most amazing thing that I could have been given, and look at what I'm going to do with it now.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've almost lost sight of who asked. Oh, actually, you know what? Why I've lost sight of who asked us that question?
Yeah.
Because I can't read it.
Yes. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce the name either. So
Yeah. So, and I do not want to be a jerk and try to mispronounce it. Rose, I can do that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okie
Awesome.
dokie. Now, okay. All right. We could go for more. If we can go for more.
I
hope I answered the veil question in the right way.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I have another one that came in from our pre-recorded questions. And this looks like it might be two. So when our loved ones pass on or have passed or moved on, do they give us some sort of sign that they are with us? And when our loved ones that passed on are, for example, a baby or had a pregnancy loss or stillbirth, do they become our angels and are they always around us? And this question was asked by somebody anonymously.
Okay.
So I'll throw that one to you first, Bobbi.
Oh, you want to do the angel part and I'll do the dead people
part?
Sure,
absolutely.
Okie dokie. Okay, so the question is, do our crossed over loved ones
do they give us some sort of sign when they're with us?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Dimes. Actually, I think that my aunt is taking on to quarters.
Oh, amazing. Do you think she'll come up to loonies and toonies soon, or
yeah,
inflation?
Well, I think it's because I've had so many cross in such a tiny time.
Yeah.
And when somebody, okay, this is, if we're going to go with the sign, if you look at the dime and you grab the dime and boom, a person's name or face or something or a feeling or a sound comes into your head, an extra sensory, you know it's them. They're the ones who left it. It's the first thing. Other signs are like, well, when you almost lose your mind over them. When you walk into a room, you go, oh my God, I miss them so much. And it's because they're standing in the room. You may have just even walked into them. Mm-hmm. They actually always show it like they went through your back and grabbed a hold of your heart and give it a little turn.
Yeah.
Hello, remember me? And what you get is, oh my God, you're dead. That's
yeah.
Yeah. Birds. I actually remember I was doing a reading because I do my readings outside because I really like that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden a bird flew in, whack, and hit right above. It poof on the ground. And the girl looked at me. She goes, "That's my dad." Poor bird. We're trying to stop abusing birds.
Yeah.
All the time he flies birds into the window at her.
Loved ones against spirit killing birds. I think we need to start a new group.
It didn't die. It crashed its head, and then it flew away. Like, whoa, what the heck was that? So that was a good thing. But those are very generic signs, actually, that loved ones give. But they are signs that loved ones give.
Yeah.
And you can ask for signs too, but don't be stupid.
Yeah.
I'm ready to say that. This is not a movie, is really what I want to say. Like, don't say, okay, if this is right, make the roof lift up.
Yeah.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Things that are simple and straightforward and easy to recognize. And
very easy to recognize, and things that actually could be manipulated a little bit in our reality. Ooh. This idea that a ghost or someone could pick this up and go, ooh. Yeah, no, it could shift it.
Yeah.
It moved a centimeter or an inch or something like that. They can actually take things move, and suddenly it's like, why is that there?
Yeah.
But it's not going to float in front of your eyes.
Right.
You're looking for that. You're just going to always be disappointed. And then you're going to miss the actual communications.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the angel card?
And well, I was just going to say, and believing, because I've spoken with people and they've told me about all of the different experiences they've had. And they think it's their parent, or it's their loved one who's passed. But unless they get this specific thing, they're not going to believe it. And I think that believing that they're sending is really important too.
And specifics are so hard. People will even say to me, okay, so I said, tell me a phrase when you come back. And it's like, oh my gosh, you want me to know the phrase. That's some goobers. I'm going to do the best I can, but I actually more get the idea around the phrase, not the phrase. If that makes any sort of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Nope. Totally. Totally. Okay, so the other part that we had here is when our loved ones that have passed, for example, or are a baby or a pregnancy loss or a stillbirth, do they become our angels? Are they always around us? So my experience is that they don't become our angels. They are definitely around us. I had this incredibly amazing experience probably about a month and a half ago with a woman who had lost her child, had to deliver her child, and her child only lived for a couple of hours. I think she was like 20 some odd weeks, 25 weeks maybe. And I spoke with her a couple of weeks after that. And it was probably one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in the work that I do. And that's, for me, that's pretty big because, we have pretty amazing experiences.
Yeah, we're so lucky.
And what this child came through as, or this soul came through as, was just love. It was literally, it was all love. And, she was asking a lot of the questions like, do they hate me, or did I do something wrong, or and all there was just love, this incredible love and compassion. It was like the purest soul that I have ever experienced, and that energy is always around you. It loves you. It is part of you. And I've seen sometimes that they've told me that they'll come through in the family line at a later time. So possibly through children or through grandchildren, but that they are otherwise with you.
Yeah. And the way I actually see stillborn and aborted babies is the same, or miscarried babies.
Yeah.
That they are souls that want to be part of the family, but come at a time when it would not be convenient for them to be part of the family. But this makes it so that they're in the pod.
Yeah.
I actually see us all as little pods. Yeah. And that way, usually actually they come because the parents are a little messed up, or because there's going to be siblings that come after them that they have to look after.
That's
actually what I almost always see. And they live to 30.
Yeah.
There. They grow to 30, and then you get to meet them when you cross over.
Cool. Oh, I just got goosebumps as you shared all of that. That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's something it's something that I look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that. Awesome. Yeah, and I just want to kind of circle back really quickly, and then I'm ready to move forward. Angels are from, I don't want to say that they're from a different realm, but they don't.
What you want to say.
but yeah, that's kind of what I want. That's kind of what I want to say. I mean, some people are incarnated angels, which means that they have had an angelic life at some point, and they do come into body, and sometimes people will say, oh, that person, she's just an angel, or she's my earth angel, and so usually it's people who are spoken about in that way, and so they can be born in. But I haven't at this point seen souls that have moved on to become angels, and certainly not acting in an angelic function in your life after having had such a close physical life. It takes time, but they are definitely with you and around you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I always see them as they can't possibly be us because we're so much lower.
Yeah,
but only lower in that, like, we're not less. We just we are. And that, but it's not.
Our vibration is slower. Yes. Our vibration is slower.
And the amount that we know and have retained and brought in is different. It's like the difference between a 5-year-old and a 50-year-old.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Well, some 50-year-olds, because I've met some pretty dumb. Okie dokie. Now, one of our one of our Orkellians has put out a question or a comment that I would like to address, just because.
Absolutely, let's go to it.
To me, it's Jerry.
Okay.
And she says the veil 2 times in 6 days. This is what she was asking about, the veil and the thinning of the veil. Mm-hmm. My health is very much involved, which would be a complete crossing.
Oh, okay. So I, just so that I can clarify for myself and possibly for other people watching.
Yeah.
It sounds like Jerry has had very close experiences with coming close to the veil where there's a possible that she may have crossed in part due to health concerns. Is that what you're getting as well?
Yeah, I was thinking that Jerry was wondering if she might be dying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And is that what you're wondering, Jerry, if you're about to go home? I see that the door's locked. Just so you're aware, actually. As soon as I ask that, I see you trying to do the door, and the door is locked.
And they say there's more to be done on the physical side.
Yeah. So I know I'm reading you, and I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to. But I have to. Like, I see things, and they'll tell me what to say when I see this. So because that's a weird. That's not a weird question, but that is a question where it's. I don't want to say the answer is ambiguous, but it's all, So I just have to go to my friends and family in the background there, and they just showed me her trying a door that was not going to open.
I love the imagery that they give you.
Well, they give me because they say give it to me like I'm 5. So they say. So it's as simple as possible. Because man, every detail. I will see a detail or something. I'll think, oh, that doesn't mean anything. And then keep going on and on and on. And then go, oh my gosh, why didn't I tell you that? Because if I told you that, we wouldn't have had to go through that. Because there it is.
Right.
My Bobbi ego said, oh, it's not important. I popped it away.
Bobbi ego, sit down.
Bobbi ego, shut up. Yeah. Silly Bobbi ego. Awesome. I don't know if you said hello to Shelly. I'm seeing that Shelly said hello. So I want to say hello to Shelly.
I don't think I'm seeing the same comments as you, but I just want to take a moment
I don't even know where I am.
Okay. I just want to take a moment to really celebrate Corrine. She said that she's happy that she focused on her diet because her A1C dropped from 9 to 6.3.
Wow, what is an A1C?
Goodness, A1C. That is the blood test that they do to see where your blood sugars are, and it gives like a 3-month time frame. And coming down from 9 to a 6.3, that is awesome. Congratulations, Corrine.
Congratulations. What did you do?
Well, she said that she focused on her diet, a healthy diet.
Did you focus on the positivity while you were eating or something as well? That's what we want to know. Inquiry minds want to know what the intention and thought process was going on in there too. So please.
It is also amazing the benefits that proper sleep has on your A1C, and also having eating enough and properly. And so I wouldn't be surprised if focusing on your diet actually contributed to a couple of other shifts and changes as well. But that is so exciting. Yeah,
I actually was just telling a client that I'm glad that they did this thing to me so I couldn't eat processed stuff. I can eat vegetables and fruit because I have much more brain clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because of brain clarity for me.
I did a cleanse several years ago. Actually, it's not a cleanse because you did continue to eat, but it was a 5-week process where you kind of go in and then you lead your body out, and you go into a vegan lifestyle basically within the first week, and everything became so much clearer for me. I felt so much better, but wasn't able to maintain it.
I bet
it was. I love cooking, I really do, and I love mixing and concocting. But a whole pile of the foods that I was eating, I can no longer eat and tolerate, which makes me sad because that is how I would choose to eat if I could. But
your food thing is different.
It's really big. and if I don't eat properly, then I have so much brain fog I can't do any of my work. So strict diet is what it has to be.
But it must mean something, because if I don't eat properly, I'm on the ground. Kick the crap out of me.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's something to do with our psychic energy, and it's take care of the husk.
Yeah.
You're poured into it, you're stuck with it, so you better take care of it.
So it can vibrate the higher.
Yeah. And I think also it would be very, very, I think we kind of lost sight of nutrition a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And what we should, or maybe might want to choose to eat rather than other things. I'm trying to get away from the word should.
Mm-hmm. What we could be eating to be our best selves.
Yeah. Well, because convenience is a really big part of it, I find.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Yeah, I think I'm down where you are. Yeah. Okay. Now
I'm all over the place. You go ahead and take our
Josie. I hope it's Josie. I hope I said it correctly.
Yeah.
Yes. Rose asked about the Rainbow Bridge.
Ooh, I missed that. Let's go to it.
And I don't know if the Rainbow Bridge comes up for you, but I actually have had experiences where I'm on it. because we always associate with animals.
Yeah.
But I actually associate it with the road to heaven, pretty much.
Cool.
Which is kind of like what when I saw the Valhalla, the tree of life, there's an actual name for it. It's in my head because my husband says it all the time because he's like obsessed with it.
Well, as a logger, that makes sense.
Yeah, with the trees and well, he's a hiker. So anyone remembers the name or knows the name of the tree of? It's kind of like the tree of life for Vikings. It has the anyway. To me, I look at that and go, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense because they actually even draw a bridge from the earth to Valhalla.
Oh.
Which I'm like, oh my golly sakes. I know I was on it. I walked on it. I remember the dream so very vividly. I know where I went. I was in the waiting room. I was told to get the heck out because it wasn't my time. I remember it very vividly. I know exactly what, like, yeah. There's no ambiguity. It's not ambiguous. Ambiguity. There we go.
I don't know that I've had experiences with Rainbow Bridge in that way before. So that's really cool.
So when you think Rainbow Bridge, you kind of think of the crossing of the animals?
Yeah, but I can also see how that would certainly apply to others. And actually, as we're talking about it, I am seeing like hands being outstretched, which is exactly how I see them when somebody is preparing to pass. It's like all of the hands come out. But yeah, no, I see what you're seeing. And that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's the way I see it. So I don't. Well, I hope that helps, Rose. I think it's the way to heaven. Okay, Josie feels whatever. I don't know what I felt at the time that you were feeling it at the same time, Josie. But thank you. I have no idea what I was talking about at that time. That's the thing. Right?
Yeah, that's the tricky part about going back to seeing the comments. Let me see. I see love Raven here. First of all, I love your name. That's awesome. Is there a spiritual meaning from getting a bad burn? I got a really good one last week. So like a sunburn burn or like a burn, like burning yourself on something hot.
Oh, I don't know what she means then.
Well, there isn't anything specifically that I'm aware of, but when I ask about it, I do see like the peeling that happens, like the layers, like the releasing. But I think that we need to be really clear here when we talk about this. Please don't intentionally go out and burn yourself, either like getting a sunburn or like pouring hot water on yourself. That is not a way. It's not a great way to release.
No.
but like when I ask about what that could possibly mean from that level, I see the peeling and not the burn itself, but I see the peeling and the releasing of, what no longer serves. And so if you are in a place where you are quite burnt, then that's what I would focus on, is as like the peeling is happening with your skin, what else can I be releasing, or what is coming to the surface for me? And particularly if the burn had like a traumatic nature, what is ready to be released, or what has come up to the surface that needs to go?
Yeah. What were you doing when you got the burn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one too.
What thoughts were in your head? What was happening with you when you got the burn? Because I know for myself, I'm not quite sure who asked the question, but for myself, I get hurt a lot when I'm not thinking thoughts that are aligned with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being an asshole in my head, I will stub my toe, cut myself, knock myself out. I actually once cut myself in a bowl. I looked like Harry Potter. It was like blood and everything. I'm like, okay, you're right. Absolutely right.
Well, that's kind of like the universe bringing back to you exactly what you're putting out there. Right? Our thoughts are powerful.
Yeah, that's exactly. Thoughts are reality, and they will make your reality.
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And when you were talking about it, I heard forced new layer.
Oh, can you talk about that a bit more? That's interesting.
Taking off a layer of the skin. We slough off every 7 years. We get a whole new layer of skin. And within yogic ideologies, we actually get a whole new lease on life within that full layer. So that it could be that. It could be, and it could be why I heard in my head, think about what you were doing when it happened. So yeah, or what you're thinking or something like that.
Beautiful. I love that. Awesome. And I see that we've got a couple of comments that are coming in, like around diet and like lowering blood sugar and stuff like that. But I love, right underneath it, we have Josie saying, I love food. I love food too.
Yes.
And, you know, I want to just take a moment and talk about this for a second. I think food is part of the physical human experience. And
it's a very social thing.
It is very social, but it's also like we have physical bodies when we're on the earth, but our soul doesn't have any requirement for like physical food. This is a purely human experience. Yeah. And, you know, the only place that you can have this experience. So I think that the enjoyment of food, not only as a social thing, but also just as something that's nourishing the physical body. And I think that that's a really important thing to enjoy.
Yeah, I never even think about that. Well, actually, no, I do. I obsess about it. And that's why I think it's a social thing.
Yeah.
I can't eat with people anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Family meals have become brutal.
Yeah, they become brutal because everyone goes, or they'll say, oh, good, you ate almost all of that. It's like, or they watch, or after minutes, or suddenly I'll be eating and all of a sudden go, oh, that's it. I can't do anymore. I'm done.
We're done.
And I'll have to just push away. And then this, because it is very, very social.
It is very social.
Incredibly social. It used to like feasts, meals. That's how we get together. Gather around food.
Yeah.
So, we're obsessed with food.
The preparation of food, and especially when we're doing those big meals, like everybody coming together, there's so much community, and then like the enjoyment of it and the sharing of it. Food is a powerful thing.
A very powerful thing. Now, I want quickly, I just read Josie's question. I got actually a bit of an answer. So I have to.
All right, let's do it.
She said, can I get a read on my eldest bio son and my relationship? It's very bumpy at the moment. Mm-hmm. I immediately heard testosterone. That quite possibly he doesn't know who he is right now. And he actually might be pushing you away because you are estrogen. And I know that sounds weird, but they're actually putting it on the basis of hormones. Yeah. You might be doing that so Josie does not take it personally.
Yeah.
Then take it into her heart.
Yeah.
That it's just not, because I honestly think your son actually might be on that cusp where what kind of man am I supposed to be? Mm-hmm. Society says this, but I feel this, and I don't know about that. And I'm so glad I'm not a young man.
Yeah. And figuring out that balance. Yeah. And part of a big part of what I see for Josie is just like holding the space, the capacity that you have to hold it without taking on, but at the same time taking care of yourself as well.
Isn't it cool how, because when I hear you say that, I think, okay, that's very much kind of like what I heard, but the way you put it is so very, very different than the way I put it. It's
because we have our own filters.
I know.
You have the Bobbi filter. I have the Erin filter.
Yes. Yeah. That's why you sound like that. I sound like this. Two people.
Yeah.
Cassandra.
Oops. I'm all over the place.
I know. Cassandra's been all over the place trying to look for a little family home. And, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read the question? I have no idea where you are.
Cassandra said, hello, do you get any reading for me? Life has been all over the place looking for a little family home. That's what she wrote. And I actually saw her meditating and actually moving her root chakra.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. And then planting it in a new place.
My dog just tooted. Oh. I made it worse by fanning.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Keep it away. Okay, well, while Bobbi is suffocating on dog toots, part of what I'm seeing for you, Cassandra, is finding the place, planting your root there. But I'm also seeing that there are other people who are involved, and it's almost like there's a root planting that's happening, but like a weaving or a braiding, and that the roots are kind of expanding out into the space. And I think that's a really cool and exciting way to like bring your energy into a place. Or sorry, not bring it into, because that feels very invasive.
That's the word I got too.
Yeah. So I'm going back like almost 20, or no, more than 20 years with this reference. But there used to be a television show. It was called Charmed, and it was about three witch sisters, and they always had this map, and they would use their pendulum, and the pendulum would be drawn, and it would show them where they needed to go.
That's what I use as an example.
And that's part of what I'm seeing, is finding the place that you are being invited to, and bringing your energy into it and allowing your energy to ground. So when I see grounding, I see our roots extending into the ground, but Mother Earth coming up and holding and nourishing them. So find the place where Mother Earth will nourish your roots.
That's funny that you even said the whole charm thing. I actually just said that to someone in a reading, I think last week or this week, can't even remember. But I said, I've only ever seen it on the TV show Charmed, so because I was telling them to scry.
Yeah, exactly.
Pull them over a map and do a scrying, and that's so funny.
That's
you got
funny.
the exact same thing.
And it's really funny because I wore one of my pendants today that can be really easily used for pendulum work. So there we go. We were meant to talk about pendulums today.
And we're also meant to actually show off
all of our bling
quartz and our pink quartz, because we did come on and go, oh my gosh, we are both quartz ladies today.
We're matchy.
Yes, and Carrie, it's a bunny, and I love bunnies. I've never had the connection to bunnies as I do now.
Bunnies have been really big for me, for my mom, for one of my people who's the rabbit for sure.
I always like you guys with rabbit. For me, it's the discovery of Ostara.
Oh, which I think is actually basically pronounced like Easter.
Yeah, it can be Esther, Ostara, Oster. Yeah, she has many different pronunciations of the name. It's like Brigitte. Okay. Brigitte is Brigitte.
Right.
Brigitte is and well, because my theory is, I have theories.
yes, lay it on us, Bobbi.
My theory is that these deities of kind did actually exist at some point and have actually kind of separated to a certain extent from us. Either that, or that we believed in them so strongly they actually only personified themselves in some sort of way. And that you can have that in England, and you can have that in the present day France, and you can have that in present day Germany, and it's all the same goddess that everyone's seen, because we're not as far apart as we seem to think we are.
Yes, absolutely. That totally makes sense.
So that's my theory.
That totally makes sense.
And I'm supposed to say, Pat, you're staying here. That's what I'm supposed to say.
And I just want to take a moment because Corey is on the show. Hi, Corey. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, hello, Corey.
Yeah, Corey. And we've got Corrine. And we've got Corey.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so where are we going next?
Do you want to get random?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You go. I did the last two, so you have to do two now.
Okay. Well, I'm now suddenly, I think, at the bottom of the list, and so I'm seeing people. Love is saying that she loves the root weaving. Yes, I love it too. When the imagery hit, and when I was doing it in meditation, and like the roots were being held, like to truly be held by the energy of the earth was just amazing.
That is quite amazing.
Just amazing.
Like the way a root ball goes with a tree.
Let me see. And Rose is saying that she was literally just looking for her pendulum. That's so wild. Yeah. we should maybe talk about pendulums one day. I love talking about pendulums.
They're so I used to use it as like a party trick for my kids.
Did you?
When they have friends over.
Yeah.
Mom, show them the pendulum. I go, okay, pendulum, go round and round really fast and nice and big. And they go,
oh. Whoa. Mom is magic.
Oh yeah, I used to love doing that. You do it for drunk people.
So one thing that we haven't talked about yet that Bobbi and I talked about at the beginning, like before we came onto the show, and we're like, yes, let's talk about that today. And here we are, almost at the hour. We haven't talked about being the hub.
Oh, the hub. That's right.
The hub.
Oh my God, the overall of everything. Yes.
And I suspect that many people who have joined us live and anybody who decides to watch later will resonate with this message as well. When usually it's women, when I connect with women, and usually they're mothers, but not always. And they show me that they're the hub of the wheel, and that the spokes that go out are all of the people that they take care of, all of the people that they look after, all of the energy that goes out. And the important of Hubba Bubba.
Yeah, I love
that. Corrine, I really love that. The importance of taking care of the Hubba Bubba. Hubba Bubba.
So Hubba Hubba.
No, Hubba Hubba is a little different from Hubba
Yeah,
Bubba.
that's Hubba Hubba. Hubba Bubba is different. You're right.
So I've set it up. Did you want to take it from here?
Well, because it almost began with me to a certain extent. Well, yeah, it kind of did. I've been feeling a little bit, I feel like an octopus. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's got a leg, and everybody needs me, and I actually need myself, and I have been unable to be there for me because the guilt of being there for me means that I'm not there for somebody else, and I feel as though I need to be there for other people. I can't. I actually feel bad going and doing things without making sure that I check in with everybody else to make sure everybody's okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be available for an hour. Isn't it ridiculous?
No, I'm laughing because of what I'm hearing.
Oh, in your head? Okay.
Yeah. And I keep hearing, Mom, we're okay.
Well, just them. It's most of them, yes.
Oh no, and I suspect, I'm not a parent myself, so I don't know how much I can offer to this part of the conversation. But what I hear for others is that there comes a point where your help isn't needed in the same way, and that it benefits them when you take care of yourself, because when they do actually really need you, then you really can be there.
I heard that last week. Actually, what I heard last week is stop worrying so much about them, or you'll make things happen.
Right. Yes. And they'll converge on you.
Yeah. Well, or I could be, I'm so worried this is going to happen. I'm so worried this is going to happen. It's kind of like saying, I would love for this to happen to my child. That's pretty much what I'm saying when I do that. And I gotta not do that. I understand that. But yeah. But I don't know that it is as much perceived as it is genuine. I think as ladies tend to be expected to jump to when someone needs us. If you don't jump to when someone needs you, what kind of woman are you? And why are you such a selfish bitch? And things like that actually is I feel as though it is absolutely expected of me. Not just from the people who need it from me. Right. But probably, I guess, for myself.
As you're talking about that, I see so much of what I do with that in, even not as a parent, but just in other family relationships that I have, that need is there. And I think you're right. I think that it's part of what has been bred into women, or societally shaped and formed. That's part of what's formed us, and that same level of consideration doesn't seem to be true of the men in our lives, that there's just this expectation of women. And how amazing is it to be able to not only recognize that, but then to start to take steps to say, hey, it's not actually selfish for me to take care of me, because I know the only person who's truly going to take care of me, maybe there's some stuff that needs to be unwound with that, but the only person who's truly going to take care of me is me. And I need to focus on taking care of me, so that when there is big need, I can be there. But I think it kind of all goes to our self-care society. Like we focus a lot on repairing ourselves because we're in a place where we're needing repair. But what if we just maintained ourselves?
Yes. Like the idea of actually taking sick days when you're not sick. Yeah. And treating yourself as though you are sick. Yeah. By sleeping and taking care and doing all the things that you need to do. Yes. Yeah. And for me, I could say I'm sick. I actually would like to tell everyone I got COVID. Sorry, I got quarantine.
You can't come to visit.
I can't do anywhere. You can't go anywhere. I gotta stick in this room. I just said that out loud. I'm gonna go get it now.
Yeah. 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 Don't invite that one in, please.
Don't invite that one in. Not on wood, because the vaccine I think would suck tremendously for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, yes, and I'm just noticing some of the comments that have come in. Corey's saying conditioning. Yes, absolutely. And Rose is saying heal yourself to heal others. Absolutely. Yeah, you are your own first client.
Yeah. Yes, you are your own first client.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll do everything for my clients. I should really do everything for me.
Absolutely.
Preventative care. Yeah. Exactly. Preventative care. And the point you make is absolutely right. We are in a maintenance society.
Mm-hmm.
Like we wait, but we also, like, I am totally, absolutely duped into the workaholicness. Totally. The productiveness, I don't even know when that happened. I think about it when I relaxed once in my life. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I was able to, but now I feel so guilty.
So go.
Oh, I have to be doing something productive at all times. If not, what is wrong with me?
Well, I think part of it could be the definition of productive, and recognizing that rest is equally productive as being active, because rest is that thing that helps you to do the active things when the active things are necessary.
Yeah.
Same as eating.
Yeah. Same as eating. Yeah. And actually you can put it in the form of your car.
Yes, that was actually where I was going to. If your gas tank is empty, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and if you don't check the oil, your engine's going to seize. And
I almost did that the other day.
My.
I almost did that. I checked my oil, and it was on the low end of everything being okay. And since I'm halfway between getting oil changes, I'm like, my car's an older car. I'm like, I'm just going to put an extra liter of oil in. I put an extra liter of oil in. I had a helper. My mom was there, and she was being really helpful, which meant that I wasn't paying attention. And I started my car, and I started to drive out of the parking lot. I'm like, oh, that does not sound right at all. I hadn't put the oil cap back on.
Oh.
I almost spewed oil all over my engine. So it is important to pay attention and to listen.
It's very important to pay attention and to listen, because your vehicle is like your body. I used to use that all the time with my yoga students.
Yeah. When
they would talk about not doing things to their body, I said, you would never do that to your car.
Yep.
Because it's an investment.
That's right.
You don't want to have to buy a new one. Your body is the same. It houses something just like your house and your car and your career.
And it's important.
And it's very, very important. Yes. And I have been, yes. Okay. You're right. I'm so glad I have you all.
It's important that we take care of our body.
Yes. It's actually important that we take care of ourselves.
Yes.
We're serving as examples here.
Absolutely. Yes. And I love what Lorianne has said as well. Self-care is so important. Rest is so needed. It's true.
Yes. And okay. There's twice now blue.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of people asking about blue. Do you want to talk about blue?
Well, when I see blue, I think goddess energy.
Ooh, I love it.
That's why I painted my house blue. I bought a blue car. Yeah, I went blue crazy at the beginning of the pandemic.
Blue, sorry.
And I got True Blue by Madonna. True Blue, baby, I love you. Oh, that's a song.
I mean,
So have you been seeing blue? Well, what do you think of blue? I think blue of goddess. That's where I go.
Yeah, for me, blue is Archangel Haniel. That's what, like the really light blue, the pale blue, the baby blue. I've been seeing a lot of that lately. And when I see that, I know that Archangel Haniel is saying, okay, Erin, you need to start connecting more. I'm like, okay, miss the supermoon.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think that other people are seeing blue because actually it's
the supermoon.
All of us?
It could very well be. It could be an invitation. And then, blue also takes me into the chakras, right? The third eye chakra and the throat chakra.
I always think the indigo-y, purpley. I go more purple with my third eye. I know everyone's on the indigo blue.
Yeah.
But when I first opened up, I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw sparkly, purpley, it's like sparkles.
Beautiful. And for crown chakra, you see gold, right?
Yeah, I see gold and white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see gold with a white glow all around it. Yeah, I don't know why. And it almost looks it looks like the 1,000-petal lotus flower when I see it.
That's beautiful.
So, and it could be because I was a yogi going in.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had my preconceived notions of the chakras based on my yogic journey.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm a bit of a poopy face about it too. I'm like, oh, your chakras.
Yeah. And I just see Rose is saying, yes, that she sees crowns as gold too. Yeah. And then also we have the question, what about pink and purple?
Pink, heart chakra. Purple, third eye, and crown together, almost like sometimes there's back and forth. I guess think connection and visual and things like that. What about you?
Yeah. Well, pink, heart chakra definitely for pink and love and healing. But like from an angel perspective, Archangel Ariel. And she's been calling me a lot lately as well. And Archangel Ariel isn't really spoken about that much. No. But she is first of all, she's like your girlfriend, your best girlfriend. The one who will always have your back. Like if you're in a bar fight and you need somebody sassy to have your back, Archangel Ariel would be there. That's just an example. She will not actually like help you in a bar fight.
You'll get your butt kicked if you ask her.
All right. But she and oh my gosh, of course, yeah, and she's also she also often comes through with a lion head, so the lion's portal. This would be a really powerful time for her to be around as well. So take a look into Archangel Ariel if you've been seeing a lot of pink lately. Her name is spelled Ariel, and I say her because she comes through with a feminine energy, but angels are not gendered, so that's a human construct.
Yeah, they're gender neutral. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, androgynous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Androgynous, like when they come in here to talk to me, I'm like, oh my God.
They have big energy.
Do they ever? It's awe-inspiring.
It truly is.
I always tell people it's not the fluffy colored Philadelphia cream cheese angel that you're looking at.
No.
It's the Michael coming in like this. Like,
yeah.
Here
they have big energy.
Oh my God. Yeah. And that's why you can tell the difference between someone on the other side. Because even because I deal with people on the other side, I deal with spirit guides, and then every now and again the angels come in. I'm like, woohoo! Cool. Because I don't ask for them every day. I don't ask them to be always part, but if you have something to say, I'm not going to tell you. So yeah. Yes. Okay. I asked Ariel. Yeah, this Ariel thing, and Chantel was talking about Ariel too. I have a very strong connection with the name and because I came in that voice and that name were in my head, have been in my head for 20 something years. And it's just very, very recently that I found out that it's not just because with my spirit guides, I get the first name that comes to me. And sometimes the names actually more personify who they are. Spirit guide when my daughter was obsessed with The Little Mermaid. So I just assumed. Yeah. I have a spirit guide named Mama.
Do you?
Yes, because she is like a mama.
Yeah.
She comes in and she cares for me. And she actually always, when she comes in, I can see she looks like she's one of those nurses from Elizabethan times.
Yeah.
A little, I want to say blankets on her head.
Yes.
Like a little white scarfy sort of thing on her head. Yeah. It reminds me very much of Juliet's nurse. And that's why I associate it with that.
Very cool.
It's Mama. So it doesn't make sense. So the Ariel thing, I just thought I'd...
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love it.
About the name Ariel. But I understand when you say lion's head, because I actually thought of her as my higher self.
Yes.
I saw all of this.
Oh, the mane. Your mane.
The mane. And we were talking about the mane actually before we came on. So.
It all circles back around. So
it's funny how you can know things you don't know and think you know them for a whole 15 years and then come to the realization, oh my God, that's why I know that. What?
Yeah. And then it just kind of tweaks and it kind of switches.
Yeah. It's so amazing. It's never endingly amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we go to another question? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, learning. So I've got Brenda here. I haven't read her whole question, but I just see that she's got a big question. So it is 4:44. Yes. So angels are with us. Yes. Okay. All right. So Brenda's asking, while learning tarot, I was explained that the Wheel of Fortune is change. Explained like a merry-go-round. If you sit closer to the edge, the crazier the ride, and if you sit in the center, it's a bit more of a ride. This is what I thought of when the hub was mentioned. Interesting.
Interesting.
Well, it kind of reminds me, maybe you've done this with a child where you hold their hands and you kind of lean back and you go around in a circle and their legs fly out. That's kind of right. Like it's the craziest for the feet,
Yes.
but for you, it's not too crazy because you're the one who's standing in one spot.
And you know what I interpret it as?
But
Is that when you are the hub, you are actually you're connected. You know who you are. You're fully in your thing. So people look to you to help them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're the hub. Okay, so Brenda just changed it all to a positive for me. Thank you. Kiss.
Well done.
You're not here. You're lucky.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, and I see Chantel saying
those names.
Sorry, what?
Tanya.
I
actually even knew a Tanya. And they all spelt it the same. Tanya. I actually worked with all three of them at one time at Earl's.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, isn't that funny? But so I'm not sure if it's Tanya or Tanya, so I just wanted to say
well,
hello.
I know Tanya. Hi, Tanya. And it is Tanya.
Okay.
It is Tanya. You were right.
But there's certain names like that where it's all the same spelling, but it's going to be a different pronunciation.
Yeah.
There's only anyway.
Yeah.
Too many.
And Rose is asking, Ariel, is strength? Yes, absolutely. Strength is one of her attributes. Courage, like helping to promote courage, is another one. And I saw that Chantel mentioned asking Ariel to help bring Little Bear home. Absolutely, because she is so connected to animals, to nature. And if you were to look at angels being close to fairies, I would say that Ariel would be the closest to the fairy realm as well. So
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right? So of course she'd be around you. Bobbi has not only like a home full of like children and family, but she's also got like a home full of fur babies as well. So
actually I got 4 right for the next week or so. My daughter brought her cat back, so I got 4.
Oh my gosh. 4 more. 5.
I only have 4, but somehow this happened. I'm planning on bringing in a new fur baby for a little while, so
yeah. Need a bit of space.
Well, one of my fur babies requires her own space. She would be detrimental to other new fur babies. Would
this be Marie by any chance?
No, Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know what she would do, so I'm not going to take a chance.
Okay, so we keep Lily separate. Oh yes, Lily is freshening your air.
Yeah. Actually, my dogs come in, and especially Lily likes to come in while I do readings. And I actually put a video out once because I chant to open my chakras before my readings.
Yep.
And she will with me.
I love that.
Yeah, I have a video I put out with her doing it. She does it almost every time. If I say, "Oh," I thought maybe she'd do it.
She's sleeping. Don't bother her.
Yeah,
she's rebuilding and resting.
She is. But I find it interesting that and actually, Rottweiler used to have, as soon as he heard my meditation music, no matter where he was, I could hear him come and be with me. He always sat with me while I meditated. My other dog, Angel, used to sit in my lap while I meditated.
Mm-hmm.
They get it. Well, and everyone knows about Marie.
Yeah. Yeah, Marie's always around too. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think animals are just drawn to that place of peace, right?
Yeah, because they know, okay, cool. Mama's going to sit down, shut up, and she's going to create something. I want to be part of that something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I used to leave my Rottweiler sit in front of me while I did readings. I used to do them with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
So I wanted a Rottweiler between me and these strange people.
And spirit.
Yeah, well, I had my dad and grandma for that one.
Right.
Too. And actually, Jesus. Yeah. That's what I asked. Jesus and Buddha. Which they were like, we don't even know each other. Anyway.
We'll be here. No problem.
Well, that's funny. Chantel's cousin is an artist, and he made a work of art called Energy Hub.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Mom.
Mom works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rose is popping in. Haniel is moon and high priestess. Yeah, absolutely. She is most strongly connected with the energy of the moon, particularly the full moon, but all cycles that we go through with the moon. And she is also incredibly connected with women, with intuition, and she helps us to see things in a more positive way or a more beautiful way. And so she can really help to transform the negative that we're going through. Can help us to see the positive in those situations. So I can't remember who we were talking with before. Was it Rose maybe, who was talking about a gift that, what if you don't want your gift because you have negative experiences with it?
Pronounce.
Oh, okay. My apologies, Rose. Yeah, so Archangel Haniel would be a really good angel to call on if you're experiencing challenges with embracing your gift, not only from the perspective of her being one of the angels you could connect with to enhance your intuition, but also being able to see the positive in that situation as well.
I think we need to do like a whole thing on Angels 101.
We totally could do an Angels 101. I love talking about angels.
I want an Angels 101. So, if you want that,
we'll do it. We'll do it.
We're going to do the spiritual force, Erin. We'll tie her down. We'll talk about angels. Yeah.
You must tell us about the angels.
It's like
crack the whip
realm that isn't quite tapped into. And it could even be because of the leaning of it.
Sorry, what was that?
It's a realm that isn't really tapped into, like a realm of thinking in a regular sort of way, if that makes sense.
Well, it could be that we just live in really different worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I actually talk about them to people, very often I have to change because I actually call them ascended beings quite often.
Mm-hmm.
It just, angel doesn't cut it quite as much just because of our personification of angels now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that I read actually are more comfortable with the ascended beings moniker rather than the angelic moniker. The religious connotation.
Well, that was what I was going to say is usually people, or sometimes people will have like a Christian religious connotation when they think about angels, but angels have actually appeared in all major religions in one form or another.
Mm-hmm.
And they are non-denominational and they are beings of an incredibly high vibration. And for me, angels were actually more comfortable to connect with than connecting with God. When I was first starting and exploring, because my first experience with religion was really in high school in history class, and that was not a great place to learn about religion and seeing it in a positive light, because what we focused on were all of the wars that were caused by people in the name of God and in the name of religion. And so I saw that as being a really negative thing. And so it was actually through experiences that I started having with angels, with these beings of light, that opened things up.
Yeah. And I think I went to the angels first because I thought God's busy.
Right.
She's got a lot to do.
Right.
I'm not that important when there are starving children all over Africa. That's what I think.
And then we come to the awareness and the realization that, like that's our limited mindset and belief system. Because I can only do so much.
For me, is the same time.
Exactly.
And God is omnipotent. Then
exactly.
She can throw at her.
Can be with everybody, anywhere, at any time.
It's like a personification of God as being like a being.
Exactly. And we place upon our own limitations. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way we can make sense of things.
Yeah.
Because we're honestly a little bit too stupid to figure it out otherwise. And I don't mean that. It's the mind. The mind is limited.
Mm-hmm.
It actually perceives things into a limited space.
Well, and even needing to have the experience of something, like we were not going to talk about COVID, but I want to talk about something that's around it. I remember doing readings at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, and I'm like, something really big is coming, something is happening, and it's changing life the way that you live it. And I remember telling my clients this, and they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, no, it's really it's going to be big. But I couldn't put a name to what it was because I'd never had the experience of
I thought
life.
it was going to be a world war.
Yeah.
I thought for sure we were all going to die.
Yeah. And so, until we have the experience of something, we can't really quantify what it is.
Exactly. Because who would have thought that would happen?
Exactly. And so I see the same thing with like God and the limitations that we put on it, because we have never experienced limitlessness in our human experience.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, if you even start at that construct and start pulling out, and pull all the strings, then yeah, it starts to explain everything about us. That we are somewhat unexplainable to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's like when people say, how do you do what you do? I don't know. Do you know how you blink? No, we don't. So that's where it's at. So
yeah.
It's just natural, and I accept it, and therefore there it is. And
yeah.
my mind is expanded to it.
That's right. And I don't know the basic mechanics of how my vehicle operates, but I'm still able to drive it.
I wouldn't say that to people.
Yeah, well, especially after the oil incident, I probably shouldn't be talking about it.
You understand the combustible engine. You do. Yeah, you do.
Awesome. So yes, we will talk about angels, and we will do an Angels 101 of some sort, and that I think would be a lot of fun.
Okay. So yeah, the Angels 101. We got to wait till you're ready.
Okay.
It'll most likely be in September. Yeah. We only have 2 weeks until September.
Yes, it will be at some point in September. I've got a couple of different ideas for other ideas in addition for September as well. Yeah, and dipstick. Thanks, Corrine. I appreciate that. Yeah, and actually, also in September, I am super honored that Tanya QC, who has been on our live today, we were talking about her name. She's invited me to be on her podcast. So she does pre-recorded podcasts and she shares them, and we will be doing our podcast in September.
Cool. I did a podcast once.
I know.
Listen to it. Listen to my own voice. I don't sound like that. Oh my God. Good thing she had it. And Corrine, you're right. Rotties do not bark. You do not know a Rottweiler is there till it is too late.
Oh.
They don't need to bark. They're Rottweilers. They just sit there. Just oh yeah. They're great dogs. They're so smart. They're amazing. Yeah. Yes, yeah. I love you too, Lily. John Edwards is in Vancouver on September 11th.
Very cool.
I cut my teeth on him.
Did you?
Yes, I started watching Crossing Over at the urging of my sister.
Yeah.
And I would watch him come out and do his little thing. And then I read one of his book, Crossing Over, and things like that. Yeah, I'm a John Edwards fan. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's put his butt out there a little bit. So, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, he'll be in Vancouver, really, September 11th.
Awesome. What day is September the 11th? Hold on. I'm just going to find out right here. Oh, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. We should, that's one of our days.
Yeah. Dang it, John.
How dare he come on a Sunday and not a Saturday?
Well, he'll probably start after our show.
Probably.
So we could actually be his pre-show.
Exactly. And you know what? September 11th would actually be a wonderful day for us to do the Angels 101, because that is International Angel Day. So we could.
Well, there you dang well go.
All right. Did we hear it here first? Are we going to do it on September the 11th?
We heard it here first. September 11th.
September 11th.
We'll be doing
Angels 101.
And I will be here with my note taking.
Awesome.
Don't you worry, guys. I will have as many questions.
So I feel like I also want to do a little blip. So hold on a second. I'm going to see if I can share my screen for just a moment. I'm going to share a Chrome tab. This one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, fingers crossed that this will work. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So we have on our website, Universal Connections. This is our Universal Connections website. On the very first page, we have this spot where you can ask questions for the Oracle Chats show. So we might be doing a pre-recorded show this week. I'm not 100% sure. I know that I won't be here next week. So this could be a good way to put in a question. And you can see on the side here that we have the question, the spot where you can put in your question. You can put in your name if you would like, or something else that we can use to identify you during the show. During the show, it could be something like anonymous. It can be your first name. We will only ever share your first name. We won't share your last name. And your email address if you choose, because we can send you an email letting you know when we will be talking about your question, so that you can be sure to check in and see it live.
That's a good part.
Right?
Because you can forget these things too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, it was yesterday. I don't know why the date's on my wrist.
Yeah. that was yesterday on my wrist.
In like 30 years. And I still always go, it's time.
It's a quarter past a freckle.
Yes, it's quarter past a half past a monkey's ass, quarter to his balls.
Okay, I haven't heard that one before.
Really?
That's wild.
You've never, what time is it? It's half past a monkey's ass and quarter to his balls.
Okay, well, I heard it from my parents, and they never would have said anything like that. So that's probably why.
And yeah, this is when my decade over you starts to come out a little bit. Yeah. Yes, because I have been here a decade longer than Erin, because she's
almost
late and slow.
Right. But you know what's funny? And I've noticed this with a couple of people as well, is our parents are actually the same age. My parents just started late.
Yeah, my parents started super early.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And mine started late. So what do you do?
What do you
and okay, so it is actually a thing, because Carrie said that too. So there you go. Oh dear. Well, I'm starting to lose my
ladies 1.5 hours.
I know I was just gonna say, I'm starting to lose my voice. How are you doing?
I'm dizzy.
Okay, all right. So I think that this is a really natural time to come to a conclusion for the day. What do you think?
I do lament saying it, but it is true. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yes. Korean girls are 20 years apart.
Oh my goodness.
You give birth to both of them?
You certainly could. Yeah, you could. If you start young and you have your last one kind of late, you could totally do that.
I can't even imagine I have a 20-year-old. I cannot imagine going, I can go on an infant. Puppy. I want a puppy. Okay.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us.
We had so much fun with you. And yeah, Pat, we'll look about let's because Pat wants to go.
Okay, all right.
We can get like the bus of the Orachellians going. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? And then we'll set up at the bus and we'll do our Angels 101 before we head in to see John.
That bus would be like have this big on the roof of it. It would just fly.
Oh my gosh. And I love Carrie's little reminder. Remember to rest, everyone. Absolutely. Remember to rest and take care of yourself.
Yes.
Be the empowered hub.
I'm going to take this moonstone. Thank you very much, Carrie. I'm going to bathe with it.
Awesome. We shall see you in some form or another next Thursday. No, Sunday. Sunday. Days don't matter in the angelic realm.
See what happens when family gets in your life? They just mess up everything.
They really do.
They really do. Because they're like, hey, pay attention to me. You love me. You love me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love them. All right.
All right. Shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Namaste.
Oops, I always do it wrong.
No, you did fine. Don't be silly. Bye.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.
See you next week.